I had hopes, but I was not prepared for how good it really was. It's something that's different, and at the same time, it's something that audiences are going to relate to, and they're going to like the characters, because to me, it's all about character. If you like the characters, you care, and then the scares generally work. I'm sure my fans will enjoy the movie. I think they're going to really enjoy the movie. And I think that some of them will go back 2 or 3 times to actually savor the thing. I mean, I went back and saw it a second time and felt that I was seeing things the second time through that I'd missed the first time. When I wrote the book, I thought to myself, well, I've written some books and I've gotten this reputation as a horror novelist, so it will be my final exam. And I'll bring back all the monsters that I remember from my childhood, the ones that I grew up with, Frankenstein, Dracula, Wolfman, the Thing from Beyond the Grave, because the entity that is Pennywise focuses on whatever that particular child fears the most. I was thinking about the universal monsters and the ones that scared kids in the 50s. Well, they've moved the time frame, they had to the 80s. To me, that isn't the important thing. The important thing is they kept the core idea that Pennywise gets to these kids by finding out what they're afraid of and being that thing. One of the things that I wanted to do in the novel, in all of my novels, is to create characters who are fundamentally decent, by and large. And that way, you don't want them to be spam in a cabin. You know, you don't want them wiped out. You want them to live and you want them to win. And I think that translates to the film. That's one of the reasons I really like this movie. Let me just say that I had hopes, strong hopes for the movie, because I knew Andy's work from Mama, and I thought he was really, really talented director. And I also loved the idea of concentrating on the kids' half of the story. Skarsgård was great as Pennywise, and he's got big shoes to fill, let's face it, because people remember Tim Curry as Pennywise the Clown, and they remember the look that Pennywise had.
Congratulations, guys, on what looks to be an early contender to be the scariest movie of this year, if not maybe the decade.
Oh, wow.
That trailer creeped me and everybody else around the world out. Talk to me a little bit about that first, because the trailer hit a couple months ago, and it like broke like all these insane records. Were you surprised at sort of just how big an audience there was for your film?
I was and I wasn't, because I kind of expected big things out of this movie, because, you know, it's a reboot of one of the most legendary Stephen King books and films. And I mean, I didn't expect this big of a reaction, but this is amazing. This is amazing.
Does this feel like a different kind of thing than the whole Stranger Things ride? Like or having gone through that, does it feel like, okay, I know how to do this now, I get this?
Yeah, definitely. I think like doing press with these guys, it's just kind of weird because I've already been through like press tours, so I'm just like, I'm used to it. But
this is how it goes, guys.
Yeah, well, I
this
mean,
is how
like
it works.
we're all like in it together, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, when the trailer dropped, that was so like I didn't know that it would be that popular.
Yeah.
In that crazy. Like, it's like, how many views? Like 50 million views now.
197.
200 million.
24
It was more than Star Wars or something, right?
Yeah, it broke Star Wars, broke
Amazing.
everything. It's like it broke the record for biggest like trailer launch ever.
Teaser.
So talk to me a little bit. Like when I was like your age, I remember like there was a really great version of It that had Tim Curry as Pennywise, and really scary. I don't know if all of you have seen it. Maybe did you go back and look at it?
Yeah.
I mean, and there were stories I think that like that cast didn't hang out with Tim Curry. Did you guys do the same kind of thing with Bill? On this one or no?
Well, for
Yes
like
and no.
half of the summer, we didn't get to see him. They didn't reveal him at all. The only pictures we saw of him were the ones that were released to the public.
Mm-hmm.
And when we finally did get to see him, it was one of Jack's scenes, and it was really scary to see a 6'5" man like looming over you. But you know, then again, he's like, "Hey, dude, how's it going?" And it's funny, but it's definitely still scary. So.
Sounds like you're still traumatized a little bit. You remembered a little bit.
Oh no, not her.
I'm hearing nervous laughter in the corner.
I laughed when I first
Yeah.
saw it.
Really?
The
You're like,
reaction was
not
to,
scary at all.
Well, no, my reaction was to burst out laughing.
That's all her reactions.
Basically.
Yeah, we watch scary movies all the time. Movies in general, if we go to movies with Sophia,
It's like someone dies.
yeah, someone dies, she's like, ah! Burst out laughing.
I'm not a horrible person, I swear.
Right. It's just how she's,
funny. It's
she's
just
processing
It's
it.
just how, it's just,
Say that.
It's a defense mechanism.
So are you guys, are all your parents cool with, like, you're not technically old enough to see this movie in theaters. This is a technicality, I know, but I mean, you're in the movie, I would hope you get allowed to see it. What's
hope
the
The
plan?
original. I saw the original.
My mom's cool with it. She's really cool. I think I think our parents are really excited.
shout out to my mom.
25 out of 10. I think they're really excited for us because we actually got to play when they were kids. You know, back when they were running around
Right.
in bikes. We were on you have a phone in your pocket? I have a phone in my pocket. In the movie, no phones.
Right.
You know, no apps. Like, we really went on adventures. So I think our parents are kind of made fun of us. Like, oh my gosh, look at your short shorts. Look at your
Yeah,
banana bikes and
they really
stuff like
love
that.
Nice.
So
Making fun of our short
I think
shorts
they're,
ladies.
Fanny pack.
I think they're just, you know, I think our parents are very supportive, and I think this was an awesome experience. My favorite summer in my 16 long years on Earth.
So what's the plan? Hopefully we're going to see the second part of the story told, which is the adult versions of your characters. So do you have wish list in mind for who the adult versions of your respective characters are? Any
I
votes?
do.
What do you got?
I got Bill Hader for me. That's mine. Top. That's my top.
Love it.
What about you?
Jessica Chastain.
That's a good one.
Oh,
That's
it's
perfect.
amazing.
Chadwick Boseman or Yellen? Yeah, right? Yeah.
What do you got?
Maybe Jake Gyllenhaal.
It's hard for me, but my mom and I kind of decided on someone like Joseph Gordon-Levitt if he like growed his hair or something.
Ooh,
That's pretty
really
freaking
good,
awesome.
yeah.
What do you got?
Chris Pratt.
Oh, it's
I
for
love it.
real,
I
yeah.
love it. I love it.
He gets all fit.
Yeah, because his character gets
P90X.
like a
He is
body,
white.
in the future gets like a bodybuilder.
That's amazing. I can't wait to see it. Okay, so a couple general Comic-Con questions since we're here talking about a couple things that come up in conversation just on the streets here. Any Game of Thrones fans here?
Winter is here.
So how is Game of Thrones going to end? What's your theory? What's your prediction?
Oh my gosh, it's too early in the season to say something like that. I hope it never ends, really. I hope they decide to keep going. I think Khaleesi's she's gonna end up on the Iron Throne.
Okay.
I think the Lannisters hopefully will all end up in their graves. I don't mean that in a bad way. And I only one that can stay is Ty.
Who do you think if there
I
was a
don't
last
know.
person standing, who would you want?
Oh, Khaleesi. She's so
Yeah,
freaking
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Like, who wouldn't want a dragon?
But I wish I knew you were talking about.
Okay, but maybe you can weigh in on this. What's the next Star Wars spin-off you want to see?
Jar Jar.
No.
Solo.
Oh, Jar Jar Binks.
Boba Fett.
Jar Jar Binks, sure.
I see a Boba Fett
yeah,
vote.
you're-
Okay.
Boba Fett,
That'd
100%.
be cool.
I love Boba
That
Fett.
would be so cool.
Nice.
Boba Fett, or I'd love to see like a Yoda, like super
Yes!
young, like young,
Yoda.
young.
Oh my
Yoda.
gosh.
Like,
Did they do
Teenage
that?
Yoda?
teenage Yoda, like
Yoda.
Teenage Mutant Yoda Turtles.
He's unpredictable, and he will never do anything that you think he will.
You want them to win. And I think that translates to the film. That's one of the reasons I really like this movie. Let me just say that I had hopes, strong hopes for the movie because I knew Andy's work from Mama, and I thought he was really, really talented director. And I also loved the idea of concentrating on the kids' half of the story. Skarsgård was great as Pennywise, and he's got big shoes to fill, let's face it, because people remember Tim Curry as Pennywise the Clown, and they remember the look that Pennywise had.